Have you ever wondered if there are secret tapping points on your body that could help unlock rock-hard erections and a better sex life? It might sound unbelievable, but many men over 60 are now discovering simple yet powerful ways to enhance their performance and confidence. Naturally, think about it. What if achieving rock-hard erections and truly enjoying having sex again wasn't just about medications or complicated treatments? What if the key had been within your own body all along, waiting to be activated? If you're a man over 60 and you've ever found yourself wondering, why isn't my body responding the way it used to? Or is there something more I could be doing to reconnect with my desire and vitality? You are not alone. In this video, I will reveal to you the secret tapping points that can help you achieve rock-hard erections and create a truly better sex life. I'm Dr. Thomas, a board-certified urologist and men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience helping men over 60 regain their strength, vitality, and confidence in the most natural ways possible. So if you're ready to explore what your body is truly capable of, and if you're curious to finally tap this secret for better intimacy and performance, you are in the right place. Before we dive into the main content, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss any future videos on how to thrive in your best years. All right, let's begin. Why erectile function declines after 60? Let's start by addressing the question many men are afraid to ask out loud. Why does this happen? Why do erections often become less reliable as we age? After more than 30 years working with men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, I can tell you this is not just about declining testosterone. It's much more complex. Erections depend on a beautiful interplay between three critical systems: the vascular system, the nervous system, and the hormonal system. As we age, each of these systems faces unique challenges. First, circulation. Healthy erections rely on strong blood flow to the penile tissues. Yet after 60, arterial stiffness often begins to set in. According to a 2018 review in the Journal of Sexual Medicine, age-related endothelial dysfunction, a weakening of the inner lining of blood vessels, can significantly impair blood flow where it matters most. When arteries stiffen, they become less responsive to the signals that trigger engorgement. Second, the nervous system. Sexual arousal is not just a physical act, it's deeply neurological. The parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, is what initiates relaxation, blood vessel dilation, and ultimately an erection. But as stress accumulates with age, the sympathetic nervous system, our fight or flight response, often dominates. This leads to chronic tension, anxiety, and a shutdown of the arousal response. In fact, research by Dr. Barry Komisaruk at Rutgers University highlights how emotional stress and chronic activation of the sympathetic system can directly inhibit genital blood flow. This explains why so many men over 60 report that even when desire is present, their bodies simply do not cooperate. Third, hormonal shifts. Yes, testosterone does decline with age, typically by about 1% per year after the age of 30. But what I've observed clinically is that testosterone alone does not tell the whole story. I've treated men with perfectly healthy testosterone levels who still struggle with performance, and others with lower levels who thrive. The reality is that how well your nervous system, circulation, and hormones work together matters far more than any single lab value. And here's the encouraging part. While aging is inevitable, decline is not. Many of these changes are modifiable. The nervous system in particular is highly adaptable. Techniques that calm the sympathetic system and activate the parasympathetic system can make a profound difference, even in men over 60 who have struggled for years. In my clinical practice, I've seen this over and over again. Once men learn how to work with their bodies, rather than fighting against them, the results can be remarkable. And one of the simplest, most effective ways to do this is through techniques that directly engage the body's sensory and neurological pathways. That's exactly what we're going to explore next. But before we dive in, if you're finding this helpful so far, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future insights like this. And if you have any questions about what we've covered so far, feel free to leave a comment below. I do read them and I'm happy to help. Now let's move on to the next section. The power of acupressure in neuroscience. Now that we understand why performance often changes after 60, let's turn to something far more hopeful, how we can support the body to perform better. And one of the most fascinating tools I've seen emerge in recent years is a simple, ancient practice called acupressure. I'll be honest, early in my career, I didn't give much thought to acupressure or tapping techniques. Like many Western-trained physicians, I focused on medications, surgeries, and conventional therapies. But over time, especially working with men over 60, I began to realize that modern medicine does not have all the answers when it comes to restoring natural sexual vitality. That's when I started exploring the neuroscience behind practices like acupressure. And what I discovered changed how I treat patients. At its core, acupressure works by stimulating specific sensory nerves located in the skin and connective tissues. When you apply gentle, rhythmic pressure to key points on the body, these nerves send signals to the central nervous system, triggering a cascade of physiological effects. One of the most important effects is the activation of the parasympathetic nervous system, the branch of your autonomic nervous system responsible for relaxation, digestion, and yes, sexual arousal. You see, an erection is not something you can force with willpower. It's a neurovascular event, meaning it depends on a coordinated dance between the brain, nerves, and blood vessels. When the parasympathetic system is activated, it tells blood vessels in the penis to relax and open, allowing blood to flow in and create an erection. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Studies from institutions such as Kyung-hee University in South Korea have shown that acupressure at certain points can measurably increase parasympathetic activity, as evidenced by heart rate variability and other biomarkers. This is not just ancient folklore. There's a growing body of scientific evidence supporting its effects. In fact, a 2019 paper in Integrative Medicine Research reviewed multiple trials and concluded that acupressure can have beneficial effects on autonomic balance and stress reduction, both key components in supporting sexual function. Why does this matter so much for men over 60? Because as I mentioned earlier, aging tends to tip the autonomic balance toward the sympathetic side, the fight or flight response. This is why so many men experience performance anxiety, even when they deeply desire connection. Their bodies are literally stuck in a defensive state. But through targeted acupressure, we can help shift that balance back. We can send the nervous system a clear message. It is safe to relax, to allow blood flow, to engage in intimacy. In my own clinic, I've taught these techniques to countless patients. And what's remarkable is how quickly many of them feel a change, not just physically, but emotionally. They report feeling calmer, more connected to their bodies, more confident in intimate moments. And the best part? You don't need expensive equipment or complicated routines. All you need is your own two hands and a few minutes of focused attention. In just a moment, I'll show you exactly which points to focus on and how to use them effectively. But before we dive into the specifics, if you're finding this content valuable, please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps us reach more people and ensures you don't miss future insights. Now let's explore the 3 key points that can make all the difference. The 3 key points and how they work. Now that we've explored the power of acupressure and the nervous system, let's get practical. In this section, I'm going to walk you through 3 specific points that I have taught to countless men in my practice. Points that, when used correctly, can help awaken your body's natural ability to perform. But before we begin, I want to emphasize one important truth. This is not magic. It's not about quick fixes or gimmicks. It's about learning how to communicate with your own body, to invite the right physiological state for intimacy. When done consistently and with intention, these techniques can create lasting change, even for men over 60 who may have struggled for years. Point 1, CV6, the lower abdomen, sea of energy. We begin with one of the most powerful zones, the CV6 point, often called the sea of energy. It's located about 2 finger widths below your navel. I'll never forget a patient of mine. Let's call him Mark. He was 68 when he first came to my office. A retired engineer, sharp mind, but clearly weighed down by years of frustration. "Doc," he said, "my mind is willing, but nothing happens down there anymore." When I showed him the CV6 point and explained how it connects to deep pelvic nerves and blood vessels, He was skeptical. But after a few weeks of practice, something shifted. Not just physically, but emotionally, he began to reconnect with that part of himself. From a physiological standpoint, stimulating this point helps relax the lower abdominal muscles and directs blood flow toward the pelvic region. It also helps release tension that many men unconsciously hold in this area, tension that can inhibit blood flow and arousal. Here's how to do it. Sit or stand comfortably. Use your fingertips to gently tap or press in small, rhythmic motions on the CV6 point. Do this for about 60 seconds, breathing deeply and slowly. As you tap, visualize warmth and energy flowing into your lower abdomen. The key is to do this with mindful attention, not mechanically. Over time, this simple practice can help reawaken pelvic circulation and sensitivity. Point 2, K1, the sole of the foot, bubbling spring. Our second point that may surprise you, it's located on the sole of your foot, just beneath the ball, and is known as K1 or the bubbling spring. Why target the feet? Because this point connects to the body's grounding and calming pathways. For many men, especially men over 60, performance issues are driven not just by blood flow, but by mental tension and anxiety. The K1 point helps address that. I recall another patient, Brian, age 72, who struggled with overwhelming anxiety around intimacy. He described it as a racing mind and pounding heart that sabotaged any attempt at connection. Teaching him to activate the K1 point before intimacy made a profound difference. Stimulating K1 helps shift the nervous system from sympathetic, fight or flight, to parasympathetic, rest and digest, allowing the body to enter a receptive state. Here's how to do it. Sit comfortably and cross one leg over the other. Using your thumb or fingertips, apply gentle pressure to the K1 point in small circles or light taps. Do this for about 20-30 seconds per foot. Breathe slowly, letting your awareness settle into your body. Many of my patients find this point especially helpful before bedtime or before intimacy, as it brings a deep sense of calm. Point 3, GV20, the top of the head, 100 meetings. Our final point is located at the crown of the head, known as GV20 or 100 meetings. At first glance, this may seem unrelated to sexual function, but it plays a crucial role. The GV20 point connects to the central nervous system and can help quiet the mind, a common barrier to performance. One of my patients, Robert, 70, described feeling trapped in his own head during intimacy, endless self-criticism and doubt. Teaching him to incorporate GV20 tapping helped him feel present again. Stimulating GV20 promotes a state of mental clarity and emotional balance, both essential for natural arousal. Here's how to do it. Sit comfortably with your spine straight. Locate the crown of your head. Imagine a line connecting your ears in the midpoint at the top. Gently tap or massage this point for 20 to 30 seconds. Focus on calming your thoughts and bringing your awareness into the present moment. When you combine these 3 points, pelvic energy, CV6, grounded calm, K1, and mental clarity, GV20, you create an optimal internal state for intimacy. Over time, this practice can help retrain your body and mind to respond more naturally and confidently. I've seen remarkable transformations in men who commit to this. Not only does it support stronger, more reliable erections, but it also restores a sense of connection to one's body, one's partner, and one's own sense of masculinity. In just a moment, I'll show you how to bring all of these points together in a simple 90-second sequence that you can use anytime. But first, if you're finding this helpful, please consider subscribing and don't hesitate to leave a comment below if you have any questions so far. Now let's move on to the practice, the sequence tap method, the 90-second ritual. Now that you understand the power behind each of these 3 points, let's bring them together into a simple, practical routine. I call this the sequence tap method, and it's one of the most effective tools I've taught to patients over the past decade. The beauty of this method is that it takes less than 2 minutes, yet it can create a profound shift in your body's readiness for intimacy. I often remind my patients, this is not about performing a ritual for the sake of it. It's about giving your body permission to relax, to open, and to respond naturally. Many men over 60 have spent years disconnected from their bodies, often carrying stress, shame, or self-doubt. This method helps bridge that gap, reconnecting mind and body in a simple, empowering way. Here's how to do it. 1. Start with CV6, the lower abdomen. Tap gently on this point for about 60 seconds. Breathe deeply into your lower belly. Visualize warmth, circulation, and vitality building in your pelvic region. 2. Move to GV20, the top of the head. Tap gently for about 20 to 30 seconds. Focus on clearing mental clutter. Allow your thoughts to settle, creating a calm and present state of mind. 3. Finish with K1, the sole of the foot. Tap or press gently on each foot for 20-30 seconds. Let your awareness sink downward. Feel a sense of grounding, stability, and connection to your body. Throughout this sequence, maintain slow, steady breathing. I often encourage patients to inhale for a count of 4, hold for a moment, and exhale for a count of 6. This breathing rhythm further supports the shift into the parasympathetic state. The entire process takes about 90 seconds, though you can adjust slightly based on your personal preference. Some men like to extend the tapping if they feel it helps them settle more fully. The key is to approach it with mindful intention, not mechanical repetition. Over time, this ritual becomes more than just a technique. It becomes a moment of self-connection, a way to tune into your body's natural rhythms. Several of my patients have told me that they now look forward to this practice as much as the intimacy itself. It helps them feel centered, confident, and engaged. In just a moment, I'll share a simple action plan you can use to incorporate this method into your daily life. But before we move on, if you've found this valuable so far, please take a second to subscribe to the channel and feel free to leave a comment below if you have any questions or experiences you'd like to share. Now let's talk about how to make this a lasting habit. Action plan, building the habit. By now you understand not only why these techniques work, but also how to apply them. The next step is just as important, making this a regular part of your life. Because like any meaningful change, consistency matters more than intensity. I often tell my patients, think of this practice as a gift you give yourself, not a chore. When approached with that mindset, it becomes something you look forward to, not something you have to force. Here's a simple action plan to help you build this habit. 1. Start tonight. Don't wait for the perfect time. Set aside 2 to 3 minutes before bed or before intimacy to go through the sequence tap method. 2. Commit to 7 days in a row, even if you are not planning to be intimate during that time. This is about training your nervous system, building new pathways, and reconnecting with your body. 3. Track your experience. After each session, take a moment to reflect. Are you feeling more relaxed, more connected, more hopeful? Sometimes the emotional shifts come first, with physical improvements following as your body adapts. 4. Involve your partner if you wish. Many of my patients have found that sharing this practice with their partner deepens intimacy. It can become a shared ritual that enhances not only physical connection, but emotional closeness as well. 5. Adjust as needed. Some men prefer doing the full sequence before intimacy. Others like incorporating it into their bedtime routine. Find what works best for you. The key is to make it regular and intentional. One of my patients, a 67-year-old gentleman named Alan, told me, I thought this would feel silly at first, but now it's my favorite part of the day. It reminds me that my body still works, that I'm still alive, still capable. And that's really the heart of this, reconnecting with the part of yourself that still desires, still feels, still thrives. If you'd like more guidance or have specific questions about applying this method, feel free to leave a comment below. I do my best to respond personally. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you'll be the first to know when new content is released. Now, in the final section, I want to leave you with an important message, one that every man should hear. Let's move to that next. Final thoughts, reclaiming your masculine energy. If there is one message I hope you take from this video, it is this. Your age does not define your vitality, your strength, or your worth as a man. Too many men over 60 have been led to believe that their best days are behind them, that intimacy and connection are things of the past. But that is simply not true. Your body holds a deep wisdom, a resilience that is still there, waiting to be awakened. You have just learned a simple way to begin reconnecting with that strength, not through pills or gimmicks, but through your own touch, your own presence, your own intention. And beyond the techniques, the real gift is this. You are reclaiming your identity, your confidence, your ability to love and be loved. Every man deserves that at any age. So as you move forward, remember, this is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about honoring your body, honoring your desires, and giving yourself permission to thrive. If this video resonated with you, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who may need this message, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future videos. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I wish you strength, vitality, and deep connection on your journey ahead. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.